I have just started new meds, so if I sound a little more bitchy than usual, then you know why. I want to talk about AI art. There are many people out there who don't see anything wrong with AI art, and if you're one of those people, I'm not going to sit here and scream bloody murder at you to try and change your opinion. Quite frankly, at this point, I'm too exhausted to even attempt to do that. I've posted multiple times on social media about AI art, not only the ethical side of things, but also how it affects the mentality of artists. And then, not even a day later, I see on Facebook friends of mine posting the photos they've generated from AI art apps and raving about how cool it is, and it honestly just kind of feels like a bit of a slap to the tits. The worst part is that some of these people are artists. So at this point, I have no hope in trying to change opinions. You can believe what you want to believe. All I'm going to do is share a little bit about what I've learned about AI art and how I believe it can affect the mental health of a lot of artists, because I feel like this is an important part to the equation. I know people will say, oh, just because it affects artists doesn't mean that it's illegal, and trust me, I know that full well. That much is obvious. I just want to make it clear regardless, how badly this trend is and will continue to affect people like me. So what is AI art? It's exactly what it sounds like. It's art that is generated by artificial intelligence. I don't know the ins and outs of how it does this, or of artificial intelligence just in general. However, I do know that AI is made to mimic human intelligence and simulate the human brain through algorithms. Of course, this does come with its limitations. For example, AI will never be able to experience life the way a human does. It'll never be able to experience emotions the way humans do, or pain the way humans do, which then begs the question, is AI art real art? Artists have already been accused essentially of being a fraud for using digital tools, doing digital art. So it's not really a surprise that AI artists, quote, are being scrutinized right now. However, I feel as though AI art is a totally different argument to digital art. Completely. Art generally is classified as something that is born out of creativity. Art comes from ideas, emotions, thoughts, experiences, all aspects of life that a computer cannot have. Yet. Anyways. As it stands, AI needs us to input certain terms and images, ideas, in order to create an image. Not to mention that art is a skill that is learned and polished over time, and AI generally just makes images within seconds. So personally, no, I don't really consider it to be real art. Don't get me wrong, I don't think AI art is the worst thing in the world. I don't think it is the root of all that is evil. There are ways that artists have benefited from using AI art generators. For example, using AI to figure out what color palette you want. You just type in a couple of keywords and then it generates an image that can give you so many ideas. It can give you multiple images. The same can go for composition and backgrounds. I don't know how to draw backgrounds to save my life, but I also hate using other artists' background drawings as references, because I'm afraid that because I know nothing about backgrounds, I might rely too heavily on these images and essentially end up copying. So I try not to use reference so much when it comes to backgrounds. So if an AI can completely create something brand new that no one has ever seen before for me to use as a reference, that's amazing. I'm not copying anyone. That's perfect. Unfortunately though, that's not quite how it works. You've probably heard of Lensa at this point. If you don't know what it is, Lensa is an app that uses the open source Stable Diffusion model to process any photos that you upload. With this, it generates avatars that look like a digital artist had created them themselves. The issue with Stable Diffusion though is that it uses copyrighted artwork from artists who did not give permission for their artwork to be used. If you want to know more about Stable Diffusion and its ability to work around copyright, then please go and check out Peachy Shop. Their Instagram is here somewhere. They've compiled a bunch of their research into coherent slides for you to read. They are the reason why I know somewhat about this. They're the people that brought my attention to it, and they know a lot more about the topic than I do. These AI databases are constantly learning from stolen art, so much so that it's actually becoming indistinguishable. I mean, well, granted, there are those pieces where you can still see traces of signatures from the real artist within the generated art, which is just bad on its own. It's just proof that it's been stolen. An argument that I've heard is that AI art will never replace real art because it looks bad. The problem with this argument is that AI is quite new at the moment, and it is constantly learning, constantly developing, constantly being polished, just like an artist would with their art. Does that necessarily mean that it will replace artists? It's hard to say, as I can't predict the future. However, it's not looking good even in its early stages. It's illegal to sell art that was created by somebody else while putting it under your own name. And we've already established that art such as Lensa use copyrighted art that was not theirs to begin with. So selling an AI generated art piece, I guess technically would be illegal, maybe, especially if you claim it as your own work. However, that hasn't stopped people from doing it. That hasn't stopped people from claiming that they are taking commissions and then they're just putting a few keywords into an AI art generator and then going, here's the art. I've even found a website, when I was doing research, I found a website where you can sell your AI generated pieces. It's also a quicker and cheaper alternative. It's also a quicker and cheaper alternative to hiring a real human artist. The other day, Charlie posted a video about how AI is taking over gaming journalism. His friend put in a couple of keywords and got the AI to write a whole article, and you'd have no idea that it was even written by a computer. You'd think that it was written by a human.
AI technology has reached a point where it could legitimately take all of game journalists' jobs in only like a couple years. And not just game journalists, but right now that seems like the easiest one for the AI to nail. Art has become so mainstream and so massive. Everyone is probably aware of AI art by now, where machine learning algorithms are able to create absolute artistic masterpieces. So much so that an AI-generated piece of art even won an art competition. You check out the new ChatGPT? Yeah, Caleb showed it to me. And I saw Kaya made a really impressive generation with it where it could literally just take game journalist jobs. He gave it the prompt of making an article for Kotaku that talks about Metroid being racist, sexist, and also blaming Elon Musk. And it wrote like an actual article that I could 100%. I'll just read it actually. Like, it was so convincing, and this was AI that did this.
With time, AI will get better, and with that, it'll be very hard to tell the difference between real art and AI generated art. It'll be so much easier to just put in a couple of keywords of what you want, get a quick result, than to hire an artist, commission an artist or a journalist. So much easier, so much quicker, and so much cheaper. So with that, I feel like it's fair for artists to worry about the future, especially when it comes to AI generated art. When I first kind of saw AI art, I thought, I didn't like it because I was like, you could just commission your art friends to do this, but whatever, you do you, I suppose. I didn't really care all that much because I didn't know anything about it. And then I started to see like how prominent or prevalent it was becoming. I've noticed that I have gone without commissions for a while. I've noticed that a lot of people, again, including art friends, who have said that they'd want to, commission me for a piece one day, just went and got AI generated art. And it sucks to see it all everywhere. Everyone's using it, and it's like a lot of people will not understand. If you're not an artist, you won't understand why this affects artists so much. But I've seen so many people, so many artists feel so down because of this, including myself. Like I said, I'm on new meds. I went a couple of days without meds to prepare myself for the new medication. And the main thing that got me feeling depressed was AI art. And I know that might sound really silly to some people, but when you've put like almost 2 decades of work into something that you love to then be replaced by a computer, it does kind of suck. And again, I understand the benefits of AI art and how it can actually benefit artists, my boyfriend was telling me about how you could, if you were coming up with like a game or something and you needed like a full scene kind of thing, you could just put it into AI and then You got a reference and it's perfect. And I understand that. And that is amazing. And to be honest, I wouldn't be against using it for references. It's just the fact that art is being stolen in order to do that. You know, like, this is a lot of people's livelihood. This is a lot of people's passion. This is a lot of people's dream. And the fact that it feels like, you know, I don't know if I can't be the only one who feels this way, but it feels almost like you're being kicked out, you know? You're being kicked out of a job or a community or whatever the case may be because people have found something better. And, you know, artists generally tend to be very emotional people. So, yeah, we are very, like, a lot of us are very upset over this. And I think it's fair. I think it's fair that we are upset over this. I have sat here and wondered, what's the point? It's going to take me years to get as good as AI art is now. By the time I get that good, then AI art will already be so much better. And I'll still be stuck in the same situation where people are just going to want to spend like a couple of quid on an artificial intelligence piece than a real human piece. And it feels like as well because, again, anyone who enjoys art, and it doesn't just mean drawing, it means any kind of art, you know that so much goes into it. So much creativity, so much emotion, so much thought, so much life goes into your art. You know, you feel an emotion, you write a song, you go through a traumatic experience, you do a drawing about it. You learn a lot, you write a book, whatever the case may be. You create based off of how you feel and what you know. And AI knows nothing but numbers, you know? And the fact that that's more favoured, and it's probably going to become more favoured over time as well, it sucks. You know, it just seems like every time I think, oh, I'll become an artist, I can do it, something just comes in, it's like, yeah, no, you can't. You can't be an artist, not in this day and age. And it's not fun. It's hard to deal with. Artists who post online are generally afraid of having their shit stolen and sold as their own. And I feel like this just makes it so much easier because you can just put it into an AI generator thing and just change it up a bit so that it looks something brand new, even though you put no fucking work into it. A lot of artists are, you know, thinking about giving up. I've thought about giving up, I've thought about throwing in the towel because it just feels like this is going to be a battle that, you know, there's no point in even trying to win. But then that's one of the things that makes me depressed, is the fact that art is the only thing I know. Art is the only thing I've ever done that's made me happy. And I feel like if I can't be an artist, then I can't be anything, and what's the point in life if you can't be anything? That's something that gets to me a lot, and since AI art has come along, it's made it a whole lot worse. So, you know, I see a lot of people, you know, saying, oh, it's not that bad, it's just you know, just computer things, blah, blah, blah. If you're not an artist, you don't understand. And if you are an artist who doesn't understand, then I'm sorry, but I don't fucking understand you. Like, again, I've seen artists who just are so blasé about it. I'm like, how? How are you so okay with this? You know, you're being replaced, essentially. You're running the risk of it, at least. You know, we can't predict the future, but I don't really feel like the future is going to be good when something so sacred, such as art, is being put into the hands of computers. You know, art is like one of the most human things in the world. And it's just becoming less and less by the day. That's all I have to say. Sorry if this video was long. Sorry if it was depressing. But I just wanted to kind of talk about it because it's been really getting to me as of recent. And again, I'm not gonna say that AI art is the worst thing in the world. I just think that the way it's going and the way it is, it's not good. And it's not looking good for people like me, you know? But what I will say is just, if you are an artist and you feel like you want to stop creating, don't stop. I can't predict the future. I can't say like, oh, you know, AI art is just gonna crash and burn. I can't say that. But on the off chance that it does, you'll still be there. So I think the best thing you can do is just keep creating, even though it is fucking difficult now. I'm gonna go, I got some stuff to do, and I'm probably just gonna go and cry in my car for a bit.